Hey guys, my name's Steven. I'm the production director here at the Block Church, and right now I am in our Northwest location, and at the time of this recording we had just launched this past Sunday, and so what I wanted to do is I wanted to just quickly take you around the facility, show you what the production equipment looks like, how it's set up, and make sure you feel comfortable and confident going into your Sunday serving here at the Northwest. So without further ado, let's go take a look. All right, so here we are at the Northwest, just walking into the building here. First thing that we want to just look at is obviously when you first come in, you're gonna need to turn on some lights. And so right by the front door here is the house lights for the entire back of the auditorium. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, totally out of focus, but 4 rows of lights. So these two by section right here, we've got the farther one turns on the front too, and then the closer one here turns on our back ones. So obviously we'll need to turn those on as we start to get set up. All right guys, well here we are at our front of house table, just explaining what is here from left to right. Right here we have our X32 sound console. We have back here, which you probably can't see, a wireless router, which helps us control the X32 via a tablet. Then right here, we have our video playback rack. What is in here is there's a fan in the top unit, which is always powered on, so we can turn it on via this top left button. We can turn it to speed, turn it to 2. This helps just increase airflow and make sure that nothing overheats inside of the rack here. Next thing on the bottom is there's a Mac Mini right here. We use this Mac Mini to run ProPresenter. Then below that is an ATEM video switcher. This allows us to put in the sermon video from Resi, ProPresenter, our stage display, and route those to the projector and the TV by the stage. Helps us to seamlessly switch between ProPresenter and the sermon. Below that is a sequencer. What a sequencer is it's going to power things on in the specific sequence that it needs to be powered on. So one of the projects that we haven't gotten to yet, but we want to, is connecting the sequencer that's in this video rack with the one that's on stage that you'll see in a little bit. This sequencer will turn on the soundboard first, and then eventually turn on the speakers and subs last. And then as we turn off, it will turn off the speakers and subs first and turn on or turn off the soundboard after. So when turning on this system and turning off, we have to always be careful to make sure that the speakers get turned on last and turned off first. This would eliminate any popping, which would damage the speaker in the long run. So that's why that sequencer is here. When that's connected, you will know. Below that is our Resi decoder. That is what brings in our live stream sermon. Lets us play that. And then below that is a smart UPS by APC. This is a battery backup, which allows us to, in case we ever lose power anywhere, we can turn off the speakers first and keep everything back up here running until, and turn off everything safely. So what that means is turning off the Mac Mini, turning off the computers before they just shut down and lose power, which is not good for them in the long run. So that's all what is right inside the rack. On top of it is, this is the decoder monitor. This helps us control the settings within that Resi decoder, allows us to pull up the sermon, the exact cue that we need, and obviously play it from there. There's a keyboard monitor, and then right behind it, this is an additional monitor. Eventually we want to raise this a little bit so that we can see it behind the decoder monitor. But what this monitor is it's a multi-view monitor. The multi-view is coming out of this ATEM video switcher. So the multi-view will show us all the video signals going into the ATEM video software and what is going out. Helps us monitor things, also helps us troubleshoot in the case of we're not getting a video signal or anything of that nature. It kind of just helps us have an additional place to see all the signals. Right here we have our remotes. This is our Epson remote for our projector and LG for our confidence monitor. Right next to it, this is our talkback microphone. So when the board is on, this talkback is always live. And so this microphone has a switch on it. And when it's pointed up towards the top of the microphone, it is on. When it's pointed down, it is off. So this allows us to talk to the band, count them in and out of videos, and communicate any other necessary things. This monitor right here is for ProPresenter. It is coming from our Mac Mini right here. So that's their keyboard, mouse. What is right here is called a StreamDeck. It uses an application called Companion on the Mac Mini. And so this StreamDeck allows us to control multiple softwares with one surface, create custom buttons. It's really useful, really handy. We're only scratching the surface of all that it can do. And then finally, all the way over here on the right side, this is our monitor for Lightkey, which is our software that controls our lighting, all of our stage lighting. The lighting that is not on that is the house lighting, which is controlled via switch on the wall by the front door. But this is sitting on top of a MacBook, which we are repurposing. The MacBook screen is broken, so it still has some life in it, but we want to get as much out of it before we recycle it and move on from it. So this computer never needs to be turned off. It will automatically go to sleep, and then that way all we need to do is press the space bar, move the mouse a little bit, and the computer should turn on right away. So there we go. Our password for this computer is production, all lowercase. And there we go, our lighting computer is turned on. The Lightkey application is the little disco ball right there. And so when we get in, just double click that Lightkey application. It's gonna pull up a screen that looks like this. And then the bottom left, on the bottom it has all of our recent projects. So on bottom left is usually the most recently opened project. Right now there's just one, and it's labeled TBC Northwest Henry Ave 2022. Let's say we add some different lighting fixtures or update this. This project will constantly save, or it will auto save. But let's say we kind of do a lot of different things to the show file. We'll duplicate this one, we'll rename it to maybe be like 2023 or September 2022. So just always look for the most recent one. We can double click that. It's gonna pull up our lighting. It goes full screen, which is beautiful. And then we should be good to go. We'll turn on the rest of the lights in a little bit. So moving back to the rest of front of house. At this point, remember the first thing that we're always gonna turn on is our front of house, because we want our board to be on before our speakers are on. So this sequencer always stays on the right side, but on the left side, we're gonna hit sequence system, hitting on. You see that has 6 sequences that turns them on 1 through 6. Our soundboard starts to turn on. We can use the little remote here to turn on the light if you need some extra light on the soundboard. That's powered on. There are 2 things within this video rack that do not automatically turn on. The first one is the Mac Mini. The second one is the Resi decoder. We're not going to turn both of them on at the same time. The reason being is when they start up, they pull a lot of power, and it makes this battery at the bottom kind of freak out a little bit. So on the right side right here, you'll see that there's a little light. What that little light is, that's the signal light to tell us that the Mac Mini is on. It's obviously off right now because we turn off the Mac Mini before turning the whole system off. So we're gonna press the button to the right. You'll see that light begins to turn on, and this monitor is gonna start to turn on. You can see the StreamDeck is already starting to turn on, which is great. It's exactly what we want to see. There we go, there's the Mac Mini. In the meantime, we can turn on our multi-view monitor. If we just simply move the decoder monitor out of the way, there's a power button on the bottom. You can press that once, and that will begin to power on. All right, our Mac Mini has officially booted up, so now we can type in the password for this. The password is production, and that will finish turning on. In the meantime, we can now turn on our Resi decoder. So the bottom left, there's a power button. Once you turn that on, a blue light will turn on. You can hear the fans turn on right away. This monitor should automatically see the signal and turn itself on, but if it does not, there's a power button on the bottom right for the Resi decoder monitor. So as that turns on, you can see the multi-view is on. We have our signal output from the Mac Mini. We have nothing going on the program feed, which is what's going to the projector. Quite yet, and that's because we haven't pulled up ProPresenter yet. So our Resi monitor is turned on. I'm not seeing anything on the decoder monitor here, so I'm going to turn on that monitor with the power button on the bottom right, and we should see signal from the decoder. That's a really good sign. So that is powering up, as we could see here. So once the Mac Mini is turned on, first thing I love to do is I like to clear these notifications. I'll put on Do Not Disturb for the day. The first thing we can do is we can pull up ProPresenter. That is the orange and white application on the bottom. There we go. Next thing we can do is we can open up Google Chrome. Google Chrome is going to allow us to access the Google Drive. Right now I'm going to sign into my account, going to Google Drive. Obviously I'm going to put in a password. We can use Cam's username and password here. I'm going to search in Drive PP7 file transfer. Once that's opened, what you'll see here is there should be one that's labeled Northwest or PR/Northeast/Northwest. Somewhere in the file name should say Northwest, and then the day of the Sunday, .pro playlist. From here, I'm going to right-click and download. It says, hey, this file is really big. Do you still want to download it? You can click download anyway. So that's going to take 10 seconds, really fast internet here, which is awesome. Going to get that up and running real quick. We can go to our Finder, our Downloads folder. From Downloads, you can select the file that you just downloaded, click and drag it to the playlist on the top left. You can apply all and hit right over. What this is going to do is it's going to add the entire playlist into the playlist section and write over all of the songs, write over all of the elements such as offering, video announcements, stuff like that. So we can now click on the playlist, we can scroll through, and we can see everything that is here. Once we do that, whoever's running screens that day can start editing whoever's name and title is leading segments such as offering, communion, guest welcome moment, etc. So that is now fired up, which is great. Let's do something. Let's just play the info loop and see that we're getting it on the ATEM video switcher. As you can see, what is going out in ProPresenter is going to our program feed here, which is exactly what we want. Moving on to our Resi decoder. So as you can see, now we are on the Resi decoder. There's an application update available. We'll probably update this in a little bit, but if you ever see this on a Sunday, do not update it Sunday morning. Reach out to Stephen, Jeff, and ask either one of them if you should update it. And if we do update it, let's update it after Sunday to make sure that we have time before we need it. And we can test it to make sure it runs well. So I'm going to hit close. From here, you can see that there's a username and a password. Username and password. A username is the block northwest, capital T, capital B, and capital N. That should be auto-saved there. And then the password is broadcast, all lowercase. We can hit enter. That should sign in. And then on this page, we'll see the events, the queues. Those are the two tabs on the left that you'll need. For event, you're going to see the Sunday's date. You'll click that. So using this past Sunday, this is April 3rd, I'll select event. It's going to ask if I want to clear the local disk. I do want to clear the local disk. So that will take a second. And then once that's loaded, you'll go to queues. And under queues, you'll see sermon start and sermon end. The sermon end is there to give us a countdown of how much time is left. Sermon start is there, obviously, so that we can queue up exactly when the sermon's about to start. So we can hit go to, and then we can hit play. Once we hit play, we'll see it on the multi-view. It is on the bottom left. I can also preview what's going to the decoder by pressing 6 or 5, or sorry, it's just 5 on the ATEM video switcher, pulls it up on the preview, or I can go back to 1, which is our confidence monitor. Program is still ProPresenter, so that should continue to go to the program feed. If we wanted to switch this manually on this video switcher, now this is something that we can do on the StreamDeck, and I'll show you just a little bit, but if we needed to manually switch it, manually switch what is going to the projector from ProPresenter to Resi, Resi to ProPresenter, what you're going to do is you're going to queue up into the preview, whatever it is that you want to switch to, and then you can hit cut. It's a button right to the right of input 8 and to the left of the screen. Once you hit cut, it's going to auto switch between 5 and 7. Then we can cut back. Green on the front of the ATEM switcher is preview, red is program. On the right side, there's a button called aux. The aux is what is going to the confidence monitor. So the confidence monitor is input 1 in the video switcher. And so once you hit aux, you can change the aux to whatever it is that you need to put to it. So if you wanted to put a different video onto the confidence monitor, you can go to aux and change that. To get out of the aux preset, you just hit aux again. It'll take you back to the main setting here. For now, we can go ahead and pause the video stream. If this is Sunday morning, I'll go back to sermon start, make sure that's queued up for cue rehearsal or service. It's good when you are getting things turned on. Let's go ahead and just play that video, make sure it's getting into the multi-view, make sure it's getting the projector, switch it just to see it, so that we're not coming to cue rehearsal and then testing it for the first time. Everything should be tested before that. So now that that's done, we have one thing to troubleshoot, and that's good because you might have to do this on a Sunday morning as well. So this is our Mac Mini monitor. ProPresenter is coming from this computer right here. This computer also has software to edit things on the soundboard as well as the ATEM video switcher, but those are just there for kind of like changing settings. It's not anything that you have to worry about on a Sunday morning. So as you can see, your StreamDeck right here is, it's just showing a G-looking logo here. And obviously, there's no buttons to control. So what we need to do is we need to pull up the companion software. So going on the Mac Mini, you can hit Command and Space Bar. That's going to open up a Spotlight search. You can type in Companion and hit Enter. Once we open up Companion, it's going to pull up that little logo on the top right. It's a circle logo. The StreamDeck looks like it's already working. It's already, it's got our presets in there. We can see Resi, ProPresenter, see the ProPresenter Clear All, the ProPresenter Clear Slide, and we can even test that. We can switch from Resi to ProPresenter on our video switcher. You can see that the program monitor is switching between the two. If the projector's on, you can see that they're switching. And so that means that it's working. You can also test and make sure that it's controlling ProPresenter, which it is, which is good. Just because you see the buttons on the StreamDeck doesn't mean it's working. So make sure you test it before cue rehearsal, before Sunday service, to make sure that it's working. If it is not working, what you can do is you can go, click on the app on the top right, launch the GUI, and the GUI will pull up in Google Chrome, and you can see the connections that it has. It's going to the ATEM, which is that Blackmagic design video switcher. It's going to the X32, and it's going to ProPresenter. All of the statuses say okay, that's good. If it doesn't say okay, if it says waiting or disconnected, what you can do is you can disable and then enable. It'll say connecting, and then hopefully that should resolve your issues. If your surface is still not working, what you can do is you can go to Surfaces on the top right here, and you can hit Rescan USB right there. What this does is that rescans what's connected to it, and that should resolve your issues. We can exit out of that once we're done. It is best practice on a Sunday morning to quit Chrome during service. The reason why is because Chrome and ProPresenter are both pretty hefty applications and softwares. So you'll want to just not be running both of them at the same time. All right, well at this point, this is everything that's been at front of house. We went through turning our soundboard on. We've gone through setting up the video playback rack, testing the video coming from the decoder, testing the StreamDeck, making sure that works, loading a ProPresenter playlist for the Sunday, and turning on our lights. So at this point, let's head over to the stage and turn on everything up there. So on our way to the stage, we just brought our projector remote with us, and we powered on our projector. You can see that there are a few lights. Let's focus on it right there. The 2 blue lights is a good thing. That means our projector's on, and as you can see, we already got signal from ProPresenter, so that's awesome. So as we're getting ready to work on the stage, we can turn on some house lights to make sure we can see what we're doing. Over here on this light switch, what's covered in black tape is bringing power to our projector and our mounted spotlights, the 2 over here and the 2 over here. So that switch can always stay on. There's no need to turn that off after a Sunday. But in the meantime, while we're trying to get stuff set up on the stage and our stage lighting isn't turned on yet, as you can see it's a little dark, we can hit one of these lights to turn on some extra lighting to the stage. So once we got those turned on, we can go ahead and turn on some stuff on the stage. Now, we don't want these on for service, so I think I got those floodlights on too. So we'll turn those off, obviously, before service starts. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get some stuff fired up. First thing we can do is there's a couple of things that can be turned on that are turned on independently from the stage rack right here. So first thing is there's some power strips behind the 2 moving head lights over here. So these can be powered on. So there we go, we got power there. And then there is a switch to turn on the light itself, right there. That switch can stay on, and we can just power off the light via that power strip. But now we have power going to that light. As you can see, he's coming alive, calibrating. We can do the same thing on this side. This guy got unplugged last week, but we can keep that plugged in. And then go ahead and power on that power strip. That powers both of those lights right there, our moving head right here, and our keyboard. Next thing is there's a power strip right here. There's a power strip right here, and then there's a power strip right here. All three of these are powered into one another. So what that means is all I need to do is turn on the one by the stage. And as you can see, that guy's turned on and that guy's turned on. So now we have power going to all of these lights. The band has power if they need it. Our haze machine's turned on. But what's not turned on is our speakers, our confidence monitor, drum lights are not turned on. All of those come from our stage box. So, just like we did at front of house, we are going to use the sequence button on the top left right there, and we're going to power on everything for the stage. As you can see, the stage rack has one of those APC UPSs right there at the bottom. That's the battery backup. That can always stay on, and the power to the sequencer right there, that can always stay on. The power to the stage rack is ran to this outlet on the wall right here. Just so you know, in case you hear a loud, beeping coming from the UPS that it's running out of battery, it's because that accidentally got unplugged over there. So at this point, everything else is turned on, so now we can turn on our speakers last. Go ahead and hit this sequencer, and there we go. 6 sequences, and we're getting powered up here. You can see we got lights on our subs. Confidence monitor is turning on. Already got video signal. It's beautiful. You can hear the haze machine is starting to turn on because it's getting heated up, and now it's getting signal. You can see that the moving head lights have a blinking light. That's really good. That tells us that we're getting signal from the computer. It's getting DMX signal. Our stage rack is on. That's good. If you see that green light right there, that means that it's connected to the sound port in the back. So that's also a really good light. Means our connections are good. Wireless mic receivers are turned on. And if we go to the back here, that blue and white flashing light means that we're getting lighting signal from the back, and all of those green lights means that we're sending DMX signal to all the lights. So those are all really good things. Means everything is powered on exactly how we need it to be. In these drawers, starting at the top, you'll see a couple things. We got batteries, we got gaff tape, got wireless mics, and we have tablets here. This small tablet right here, as you can see, that's our Northwest Spotify iPad, and then Northwest Audio. So both of those will be taken out, and they will be brought to front of house. Stage manager can grab those wireless mics. In the next drawer, worship team has cables, in-ear monitors, direct boxes, all in that bin. And the last bin as well. There are a few cables that should always stay plugged in to the stage box. 2 of them are 15 and 16. 15 and 16 are coming in from our wireless mics. The outs to the PA system are actually in an analog snake that is inside of the drum cage there. So I'm going to bring back our tablets to front of house, and we can turn on some lighting to see and make sure that that's all working. All right, guys, we're back at front of house. We brought back those tablets that were in that in the stage rack up on the stage. We have our Northwest Audio right here, and we have Northwest Spotify. Spotify is a smaller tablet. This can be opened up, a little Amazon tablet. It's a micro USB charger, so what we can do is we can put this to charge right here. And then we're going to make sure that those channels are muted, which is good. Then you'll notice that there's a little aux, it's an 1/8 inch cable that can get plugged into our tablet on the bottom. And we got post service on. So what we can do is pull up pre-service, hit play, and we're under the aux in channel right here. We can see Spotify's getting some signal. We can unmute, bring up those faders, and I hope you can hear that, but we got some signal coming from Spotify, coming out our speaker, so it's good. Fade that off, mute that channel. Getting the tablet connected to the soundboard. Right now, we gotta unlock it, open it. What we're gonna do, open up our settings, wireless and Bluetooth. Wi-Fi is connected to TBC Production, that's great. We can go back to the home page. We're gonna open up the Mixing Station app, the bottom right. Looks like it's searching. It looks like it sees something right here. So that should be on the same Wi-Fi as what we were already on. So let's hit connect. It's loading, synchronizing, and there we go. We are connected to our soundboard. There's a tab on the bottom right that says Northwest Services. I'm gonna click that. So basically all the buttons that you should ever need on a Sunday. So this just makes it easier to mix from. We can unmute our Spotify, and let's just make sure that this guy's working. And yeah, we're controlling the soundboard, so that's good, we're connected. All right guys, so now let's make sure that we can see or that we have control of all of our lighting. We have our light key obviously is on, the master dimmer is all the way up, stage rack is on. We saw signal on the moving heads and on the back of the rack, those blue and white lights in the back of the rack, the green lights in the back of the rack sending out DMX signal, and the lights getting them as well with the red blinking signal lights. So we have all those. So let's just click a song preset and see what we got. Click one, and there we go. Lights are turned on, as you can see. Looking great. So, next thing that we can do on a Sunday morning, if you are the lighting designer, is you can go into the software and start to edit some things. So, what does that mean? That means how this is laid out here is there's a service bar across the top, and you can see that there's pre-service, 5-minute countdown, song 1, song 2, worship leader transition, greeting and vision moment, guest greeting, video announcements, offering, bumper, message, song 3 response, verbals, post-service. So that was the service for last Sunday. Now every single service changes. So what you're gonna do is you can go to edit on the top right of the bottom section. It's right here. Click edit, and you can move around what's inside this service section here. And so let's say I pull up the order of service for this week, and I know that song 3 is going after song 2. I can move all of these. I can go ahead and move song 3 over. I can then move everything back. I know that there's not going to be a vision moment this week, so I'm going to right-click, rename, and just leave this at greeting. And then I can move everything else over. Message is going to go right to response, closing verbals, and post-service. So that should be good. Next thing I'm going to do is, if I want to edit a song, if I want to change some gobos, if I want to change some lights, and we'll probably have a more in-depth view of what the lighting software or what these lights can do and all that stuff. But let's say I want to change some stuff for the Sunday. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click on the song. I'm going to click Get Info. And it pulls up a tab right here, and it's got every single preset that's inside of this one button labeled Song 1. All the presets are neatly organized up here into folders. You'll see that there's a folder for the haze, which is, well, it's actually just a sequence. It turns on the haze for 3 minutes and then turns it off for 3 minutes. Trying to keep a good level of haze in the room that's not too hazy, but obviously highlights the lights. So hopefully that's gonna work. If we need to adjust that, we can. There's a folder for our spotlights. There's a 90%, which is what we use on Sundays. Yeah, there's a haze folder. I'm gonna put the haze sequence within the haze folder, move that back up to the top. There's the side pars. The side pars are the 5 on each side. So P1 through P5 on the left and P6 through P7 or P10 on the right. Inside this folder, there's dimmer, color, and dimmer effects. The R2X spots, those are the moving heads. So those are labeled MH1, MH2, MH3, and MH4. These have probably the most settings of all the lights. They have a frost 100%, a frost 0, a focus 20%. They have iris effects, they have movement, positions, color wheel 1, color wheel 2, gobo wheel 1, gobo wheel 2, prism, dimmer, and dimmer effects. What you would put into each song for these moving headlights would be either putting on focus or taking focus off. Taking focus off will leave it a little bit blurry. If you want it really blurry, then you would put the frost on 100%, and you can put that into a song if you want to. The next things that you would put is you would put a position. Basically, that's going to be where the light is pointed at the beginning of a song. Then there's the color wheel 1, color wheel 2. You'll put just one color from either one of those. And then a gobo wheel 1, gobo wheel 2. You'll just put one gobo. The gobo is what the shape or effect looks like. Then prism either lets it be one spot or it prisms it out to 3. And there's also a prism with a 1 second rotation, so you can put that in there to create a nice effect. Dimmer should pretty much stay consistent for every single song. We shouldn't really be changing that every single week. If you want to be using a different color other than white, or there's also colors like CTO 3200 or CTO 5600 Kelvin. Those whiter colors are going to be a lot brighter, so the dimmer should probably be around like 40 to 50%. But if you're using a blue or a purple, you can bring up the dimmer a little bit just because those colors are not as bright. And then dimmer effects. The frost, all of those are kind of in the bottom left section here, and those can be kind of used on the fly to create effects in the song. So when we get to the choruses, the bridges, the more hype, emotional times, you can select and deselect those to create dynamics within the song. Then after the R2X spots, we have our stage pars. We have some dimmer effects there. We have dimmer and color, drum lights, color, dimmer, and then stage bars. Stage bars are B1, B2, B3, B4. The stage pars are P11 through P18. So that should be everything there. When you want to change out a song, what my suggestion to do is you click one of the first presets within the button when you go to, so we went from song 1 to get info. It pulls up all the presets within that button. Click the first one and it highlights what lights it's controlling and what it is that it's controlling. So this is the spotlights and it's controlling their dimmer. The next one is the side pars and it's controlling their dimmer at 60%. Then it's controlling the color of those side pars. Next is the position of the moving head spots, the R2X spots. Then it's controlling the color. So this is the CTO 5600 Kelvin. Then it's the gobo branches 1 RS. Then it's the dimmer 40%. Then it's the shutter open for those. Then it's the dimmer for the stage pars, that's at 2%. Those can really always be around 1 to 2%. Then it's the color for those stage pars, violet. Then this is the drum lights, got cool white. Drum lights at 100%. That could probably always stay around 100%. Then it's our bars, those are at 100% for this song, and their color is cool white. If you ever want to change anything, my suggestion is go through everything with the arrow keys going up and down and see what it is that you want to delete. Let's say you want to delete all the color and start from scratch, then select one and you can hit delete, and it'll just bring it back to this like generic blue most of the time, and you can delete every single color out of every single preset. So now our gobos are just white and all of our LED pars and bars are all blue. Then you can come up here and you can start with side pars because it's the top one. That's what I usually do. And let's say we want to do turquoise. We could pull down turquoise, and there we go. Our side pars are at turquoise. I'll close that folder up. Then let's do our R2X spots. Let's do the color wheel. Let's do the 3200 Kelvin. I think 3200 Kelvin, 5600 Kelvin are really nice colors. Or white. They really, really stand out on those spots. Then we got our stage pars. Let's do the color for the stage pars. If we got turquoise, maybe we could do like an orange, or maybe orange is too aggressive, maybe something more like an amber. That's nice. If you ever are wondering what colors to put together, pull up the old-fashioned color wheel on Google. Just Google images color wheel, and you can kind of see what colors are complementary to each other. So drum lights, let's maybe carry over that turquoise. And usually 2 to 3 different colors is good. Anything more than that is probably maybe a little bit too busy. But if it's a special Sunday or unique series, go ahead. So these are the stage bars. Let's do those, maybe turquoise. We can't really emphasize the turquoise there. The lights that we the colors that we stay away from is going to be yellow and green. Yellow and green just don't always translate as well. They're a little bit more harsh, I think, than some other colors. Some of our favorites are blue, turquoise, orange, magenta, purple, violet, blue, really nice colors. And typically what you want to do is you want to take a look at the series graphics, whatever the sermon series is or series that we're in, and see what colors are there, and let's really highlight those colors so that when something's on the screen, it kind of matches what's in the room. So that's stage lighting right there. That's if you want to change a song's colors and gobos. Those are things that we can do each week. Because this venue isn't set up teardown, there's a lot of time to be able to do this kind of stuff. So I highly encourage you to go through and edit those each week, whether it's the gobos, the position of those moving headlights, the colors of our pars, whatever that is. Keep things looking fresh. We kind of get to do that here easier than other venues. So you can test the haze, make sure the haze is good. There is a way to fill up the haze machine if it's running low. And so make sure you check that every Sunday and make sure that there's enough haze in there. And if it looks like we're running low on haze, make sure you tell your coordinator, tell your service producer that we are running low so they can put in a purchase order to get one delivered to HQ, and then your location pastor can bring it on a Sunday. Same thing with AA batteries and gaff tape. We really shouldn't be running through a lot of gaff tape here, but if you need some more batteries, make sure you tell your service producer, your coordinator, and they can put in a purchase order for the location. All right, guys, well, now service is over. Now it's time to turn everything off. And so we're going to be doing things in the exact opposite order as when we started. So the lights have been turned off in Lightkey, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to power off our 2 power strips in front of the stage. Watch out, those lights will get you. And then we're going to power off this guy right here. Remember, that powers off both that guy and the one right there. Remember, we're going to always turn off our speakers first and then our soundboard. So what we can do now is going to turn off the sequencer on stage. That will turn everything off. It will leave on the UPS on the bottom, and the sequencer itself will stay on. But you'll see that our lights, our confidence monitor is off, and the lights on our speakers and subs are off. Here, we can turn off our projector. Projector's off. And then you can turn off Lightkey. So what we'll need to do is bring our mouse to the top right, close the application, exit out. Are you sure you want to close the project? Yes. And then from here, just let that go to sleep. Next, on ProPresenter, we're going to want to turn ProPresenter off next. So again, top left section here. ProPresenter, quit ProPresenter. It's going to ask us if we're sure. Yes, we are sure. Once ProPresenter is off, go ahead to the Apple on the top right, and we can shut down the Mac. So go ahead and shut her down. Then next, we're going to want to turn off our Resi decoder. So you'll go to the icon on that top right section right up here. Click this drop down and hit shut down. Again, it's going to say, are you sure? No, that's kind of hard to read. Confirm shutdown. Yes, confirm shutdown. So then we'll just wait for this blue light right here to turn off. That meaning that the Resi decoder's off. We don't have to do anything else over here. We could turn off this little light switch if we want to. That little button right here. That's what controls that light over top of the X32. So now our Resi decoder's off, our Mac Mini's off. At this point now, we can go ahead and sequence front of house down. Perfect, so the X32 is now off. We're gonna let this guy just go to sleep. Well guys, thank you for watching this video. Whether you're somebody serving here on a Sunday, or maybe you go to another church, or you lead production in another church, and you just came across this video on YouTube, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, or you can email me. I'll throw my email on here. You guys can reach out to me directly. But super excited for all that God's gonna do at this Northwest location. Since you guys don't have to set up and tear down, you guys get to really invest in two things. One is more time for connection and community amongst each other, but also you get to spend extra time changing lighting scenes and doing other sorts of fun things to really craft an excellent experience here. And not that other locations that are set up tear down aren't excellent, they are excellent, but you guys get to go above and beyond in just seeing all the details. And so I hope as you get ready to serve here, you are excited, not just to serve, but to worship through your serving. I hope as you are running sound, you are engaged in worship. I hope as you are running screens, you're singing along with the lyrics. I hope while you're designing the lights, that you feel just the responsibility to craft the worship moment and work alongside the musicians and the band in building moments and taking people to a place that they get to worship and experience God. So I hope you're excited to serve. We really believe that we get to set the stage, both literally and figuratively, for people to encounter Jesus. And so I'm super proud of you, production team here, excited for all that God has. Thanks for watching this again, and feel free, if you have any questions, hit me up. Thanks again for watching.